So this is really hard for me to record because we live in a world now where everything's about algorithms and everybody wants to get the most views and everybody wants to put the best version of themselves forward. And anxiety's been kicking my ass. So I haven't really been producing stuff like I really wanted to. And I'm just getting over a cold and my grandpa just passed. And times like these, we need things to like keep us comfort and can, keep us in a good space. And that's to me, Fallout. Fallout is a franchise that is deeply connected to my heart. And I've been a fan of Fallout since Fallout 3. When I first played Fallout 3, it just took me, it captivated me. The idea of choice, the full world that we can roam in. Bethesda games became like my addiction in gaming. Like, I needed that open world, choice driven game in order to feel like I was actually even getting a good game. Bethesda games were everything to me. And then when I got to play Fallout New Vegas, man, Obsidian took all my expectations and took it to another level. I didn't even know it existed when it comes to gaming. Like, I had no idea that games could be made at such a cinematic quality when it comes to choice and narrative and world building. And it just made me want to seek other things. Like, I don't think I've ever played D&D without New Vegas. I don't think I've ever would have sought out games like Baldur's Gate without New Vegas. Like, it literally opened up my mind to like what an RPG could be. So when the Fallout show came out, season one, it swept me off my feet. It was amazing. And I've been waiting for a long time for season two. I even moved to Vegas for my love of Fallout. And I went to, to go look around, try to go to some places that was like inspired by the game. And I actually did. I went to some places. And, it was a big part of me. It's a big part of my life. And Fallout is a huge part of my life. And it was a huge part of my channel. When I first got started, Fallout was a big part of my channel. So now we're here. Fallout Season 2 has arrived. And I was worried about doing the reactions because viewership and fear and all this other stuff. I'm throwing it out the window, and I'm just gonna do my own breakdown of Fallout 1, 2, and 3, the first three episodes, and this will drop the day before the new Fallout episode, and after that episode drops, I'm gonna do another one, and I'm gonna keep doing them to the end of the season because I love Fallout. So first thing I want to say is this is not going to be an Easter egg video. If you want to do that, go check out some guys that do really great Easter egg content. New Rockstar, Screen Crusher, Heavy Spoilers, like Emergency Awesome, Cosmic Wonder. Go check out those guys if that's what you're into. I'm not going to sit here and break down all the Easter eggs, even though I could. I definitely could, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to talk about what a show needs to be successful is kind of like, you ever seen an episode of Rick and Morty when they're talking about the storyboard and like how it has to have a climax? You got it. So the plot, first act, I would say is going to be your first three episodes of a season, and it's supposed to set up every character's motivation for the rest of the season. And I think the reason this has gotten so much fanfare, the reason it's got so much hype, because episode one did nothing but exposition and plot. It jumped right back into the new season. Everybody was in the same spot that we left them. Lucy Nagul, they're out there walking around, following the path of her father. Her father, he's at Voltec, free roam. The ghoul still slipping out of his past and his present. We're seeing more and more like how involved he was with everything before the bombs dropped. And then Norm, oh, our good boy Norm, which I think is becoming the surprise character of the season. Norm is still stuck with Buds. It's Buds. And he's trying to figure out what to do and how to escape. And I think this is where it gets interesting. This is when it finally takes a turn and it becomes a story. Because in episode 2, they start bringing in the world of New Vegas along with it. So in episode one, there are some good scenes. There is some foreshadowing to let you know where it is. This takes place 15 years after the events of Fallout New Vegas. According to the directors, everyone lost. Take it as you want. Episode 2, we get to see more what that looks like because we get Maximus and the Brotherhood of Steel, and they find a base in out so the Area 51 location basically, and they get like all these like old relics plus some Easter egg alien Zeta weapons, and now you have the main characters again. You have all our main characters by 2 episodes. We have everyone's motivation. The Brotherhood, they want this Maximus Brotherhood Steel. This version wants to take over and unite by force the whole Commonwealth and the whole Western Hemisphere of the United States of America, what's left. They want to take over and they want to unite by force. And they're not taking no for an answer. Like, that's their goal. That's what they want to do. And whether that's righteous or not, Maximus believes it's a righteous cause. So he wants to go along with it. So there's a seated organization meeting there, which, if you could tell by my enthusiasm, the Brotherhood of the Steel story part of it is one of my favorite parts. And like every good Fallout, there's quest lines. The show does a good job of giving us characters in different parts of the quest lines so we can follow them. To pitch is that, because if you want to do the MSQ, the main story quest for those who don't know, you have the Ghoul and Nance, and Lucy. And so they are going out with Dogmeat. They eventually, by following the trail of her father, do these first 3 episodes. They go out with Dogmeat. They try to get some caps under their feet because they're going to need to fend for themselves, get food and water and such. And they go to a hotel after securing some cabs on the trail of her father and on the trail. She hears some people seem like they were wounded. The Ghoul immediately is like, yeah, okay, not helping you. And she's like, no, the golden rule, the golden rule. And he's like, okay, find out if we're gonna mess up and find out for yourself. And they get attacked by rat scorpions. And I mean like a lot of rat scorpions. And the ghoul gets bit. And he's a ghoul. He's not gonna die from no rat scorpion poison. That should be sure. But Lucy decides to help one of the people and take her back to her people. Big mistake. She's literally this girl's with the Legion. So the Legion finally makes an appearance. We see the Khans, and then a trade-off for chips for when Lucy and the Ghoul, they try to play the Khans, try to steal their money. So we see some Khans, and now we go straight to the Legion. And Macaulay Culkin's in the Legion, which is amazing. And the Legion is divided between 2 sets. And you think that's all you'll get out of this story between them, but no, they go even deeper, right? Because she gets captured because it's the Legion. She's a woman. Ain't no safety there. Period. So she gets captured and she gets put on the stake as normal things go, which is pretty interesting that she get thrown into the lottery. But since the Legion are fighting among themselves, I don't see, because there's 2 factions again. I meant to say there's 2 factions that are fighting among themselves. So you have Macaulay Culkin's Legion and then this other separate Legion on this other side. They're kind of going at it right now. And Macaulay Culkin's Legion, is the one that's you interact with. So that's the one we see more of. And like she insults him a lot too. And so like over Roman culture. And that's kind of probably the reason she really gets on the stake too as well. Because they probably could turn her into a servant or something like that. It's the Legion. They would have tried anything. But she was really like, I'm not taking your and good for her, because she shouldn't. It's the Legion. You shouldn't take the crap. And you find out that the Ghoul, he heals himself up and he's like, okay, I gotta go track her down, because he knew where she was. He's like, all right, well, guess I'm gonna have to help her out then. He goes to NCR, and then you see the remnants of MCR in New Vegas, and it ain't looking so good. They've been cut out from their help. They've been cut out from their outposts. And it's like we only see two rangers. And they're like, "Yo, can you help us get our word out, get us some help? Like we're still here, we still got a beat on everything. We just need to get some support. Can you get support to us?" And he's like, "Okay, yeah, sure." And don't forget, in for the events of season one, the ghoul was captured and held on the ground for years. But according to what these couple episodes, that he was actually helping them. He was an ally to the NCR and trying to help them in the Vegas area, which lets me to think that maybe the ghoul and Mr. House, they got a really like. There's a lot of history that they're alluding to that might happen post date the bombs drop, but I think there's history after the bombs drop because we know for sure he didn't get in the vault. We know his wife went in the vault, his daughter went in the vault, but we know he didn't get in the vault. So how did he survive? Well, it might have been because of Mr. House. We're gonna find out, and it's what I'm saying. It's the intriguing part of it, and that's where we're left off in the 3 episodes with them. He eventually goes back and he destroys their ammunition supplies and make the two warring factions of the legions like fight each other as he rescues her, which is badass because he like trades information for what NCR is for her life, and then boom, sets him up because it's the Legion. Even the Ghoul doesn't like the Legion. Like, you gotta be a horrible person to like the Legion. Even the Ghoul doesn't like the Legion. So he's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. But it's the Ghoul, you know? And I think that's a good part for where the story is headed, and it leaves you with a lot like to think of what's going on. And that's just they're setting the story in Norm. I think the reason like I think Norm's story is like super exciting as well, is because okay, so you got an action packed Brotherhood of Steel storyline with Maximus, right? And then you got the Finders, kind of like anything can happen any moment in time because you're out in the wasteland and it's madness with Lucy and the ghoul. But when you get to Norm and his father, Norm and Hank, their stories are very interesting. So Norm is up to the point of death and starvation. We find him in the beginning of the season because Buds is like, I'm locking you in here. You got one choice. You can get frozen and you can get thrown in a cryo, or you're dead. Simple as that. And he was not a fan of that. He did not want that to happen at all. So he was ready to call it quits. And before that, he realized, no, there's one other choice. Chaos. So he kills him and lets everyone out. Like, it is so interesting because it's kind of a reverse parallel of Hank. Because at the same time Norm is doing this, Hank goes to Vault-Tec and he starts picking up all the work that Vault-Tec was doing secretly before the bombs drop, like how to take over stuff, and like you're starting to see the foundation of what Hank did, how he destroyed Sandy Springs throughout the last couple episodes. Like they were working on mind control chips. You know how you see NPCs walk around the game, they're like, oh, man, make you hope it's so hot. Make you hope for a nuclear, what's it, nuclear world? Right? You don't say the little nuclear line. I can't remember the top of my head, but they're now planting seeds that is because Vault-Tec had brainwashed those people and turned them into like the NPCs. So I can only say like one or two lines because they had a job. They were brainwashed from Vault-Tec because do this one job over and over and over again. Important Maximus' father he found water. He was taking water from the vault systems, and that's why Hank killed him because he found out how to siphon the water. So he sent the nuke to him, and even though he got rid of the nuke, Hank still remotely detonated that bad boy. So Hank is just cold-blooded. He cold-blooded for his family, and he cold-blooded for Vault-Tec. And he probably don't separate the two in his mind. Now it gets to Norm. Now you don't see Norm picking up much of those traits, but as Lucy said in the beginning, you're my brother, you're also his son. Like, Norm is starting to come around to his ways. So he releases everyone. He convinces everyone that he is a manager. He's the bloodline of Hank, and so he's in charge here. He grew up in a wasteland, and his job is to get them all prepared for wasteland. But their first task is to see if they can find an escape route. And dead. These people go straight to work because they're just like, worker drones for Vault-Tec. So they go straight to work and they escape the vault. It is such a badass scenes. I think he might only take up maybe like 10 minutes total of the first 3 episodes, but his is so good. And it literally leads you to think like, okay, so are they gonna turn on him when they get outside? When they realize that he's lying? Or is Norm going to make a settlement? Is he gonna like low-key settle down and make a settlement out there where the vault is in California? Like it just makes you think like, yo, is he gonna start a civilization? Like it's very interesting. And then we get to see exactly where their vault is located out in California. So that it looks like it's off the ocean, which is bad because we know Mirelurks are everywhere off the ocean. You don't want to do none of that. So that's pretty bad. Now, get back to Maximus and his story. I know this video's getting pretty long with it, but it'll be probably like 20-some minutes. I don't care. I'm having fun. So we get to Maximus and his story. And they find the base for the Brotherhood to steal, and it's a bunch of machismo. Like all the Brotherhood sects come together, and everybody's talking, and they're conspiring on taking out the Commonwealth. And it's just looking like it's going pretty well because this Brotherhood still they do have the cold fusion, and they did, and so they can make as many cores as they need. And we know cores is very powerful. You can do electricity with cores, and you can get power armor. So it's like, yeah, you need fusion cores, and they have the ability to produce them at a high rate. So everyone's like, okay, yeah, we're down with this as long as the Commonwealth don't find out because we don't want to go to war with them because we know they got the smoke because we all play Fallout 3 and 4 and we know about that giant robot. No one wants to fight that giant robot. And, Maximus either have to kill, he's a killer fellow Brotherhood like in a one-on-one combat, which is so weird because I never took the Brotherhood of Steel sex for being, but then again, my first introduction to the Brotherhood of Steel was the set in Fallout 3, and then my second introduction was the set in New Vegas, and I didn't like the New Vegas set. Be honest with you, I did not like them. I did not like how they treated the team member unity in the game from the Brotherhood Steel. I didn't like how they treated her. I didn't like how they were underground hoarding all this technology, and they were trying to use it to basically just like take over everything. And I was just like, I'm not a fan of that. Like, you guys are kind of weird. You guys think you're metal wizards. I'm not cool with that. So this show picks up on that. The Brotherhood of Steel, they're not all white. They're not all bad, but they're all righteous. And then we meet the guest character. What's his name? I wrote everybody's trying to get everybody's name down. He's a Marvel character. He came in this. He's so funny. What is his name? So he came into the show this season. What was his name? He's a guest character. I don't know. Oh, it's escaping me. It's making me so sad. Basically, because he's from. I'll edit it in post. You'll see me put the name right here in post, and I'll show a picture of him. But basically, so this character just was added to the show, and he came in and like out of nowhere. So basically, someone tipped off the Commonwealth to this. So then he comes in and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And you don't want anybody else to the coop. So he's basically trying to like convince them, like, "Hey, we don't want to go to war. We can all come together. We can, share this energy and kill the super mutants and take out the Siths and get rid of the Enclave and we can get the Commonwealth back to normal. Brotherhood, the Brotherhood still stuff." And Maximus is down with this because Maximus is a good character. He is a pure character. We see in his upbringing when his Sadie Scenes got destroyed by Hank that that his father and his mother really raised him well, and it was like always do the right thing. And so he's thinking this is the right thing because he looks at his leader as his father figure, and he's now the sword too. So he's like the right hand man, and these guys go out to hang out, and we go see Titus from season 1. So Titus is like a bunch of little kids and ghouls running to him. Saparella. You can't make this up. So he's doing Saparella. He's making Sunset Saparella, the drink. Oh, please let me say that right. And it's so crazy because you never know who really makes it. So I guess it was just made in Vegas, and I guess him and little children were making the drinks, or children were making the drink. I'm not really sure who put him onto it, but someone hired him to do it. So he's been making that drink. And we also see Victor. Victor, we met Victor. Victor was talking to the ghoul, but Victor is also there with them as like their guardian. And they kill Victor, which was sad. They kill Victor, R.I.P. Victor, R.I.P. the robot homie. And they kill Victor, and then they see the little ghoul babies in they're in power armor, so the other Brotherhood is still a guy. Like they bonded over all this. Like him and Maximus went on this just trip, and this whole trip that they went on was to like come up with an idea how to like get both groups together because two swords talk to each other. And he sees all these little ghoul babies, and he's like, "Oh, everybody, all the humans over here, all the pale skins and all the wrinkly skins right here. Now, all the pale skins, close your eyes." And then like he's about to kill these children. These children, these deformed children, some might even be ghouls. They might just have radiation poisoning. And he's gonna kill him. He's straight up was ready to kill him, which is like, why get a Brotherhood of Steel? In no, it's children. That's wild. But it's technically not in their code. I looked it up. They technically not in their code. Like they don't actually like abominations, or they look at ghouls as abomination. They tolerate them, but it's not necessarily that they'll go outright and kill him. So if he wanted to kill him, he can kill him. It's like not necessarily against their code. But Maximus couldn't stand it, so Maximus killed the dude. So his story is left on a cliffhanger. I can't wait to see what happens in the next episode because he straight up murders a guy, and it's like murder. Ouch, not great. And then we get to Hank, and I swear this video is coming to an end soon. So we get to Hank, and Hank is actually at going through Vault-Tec, and his story is technically part of Lucy's and the Ghoul story. As you see flashbacks of the Ghoul's life, you'll see what Hank's doing at Vault-Tec. And he's just messing around with mice right now, trying to figure out the new microchips of how to brainwash. So my thought process is that Hank wants to be able to brainwash everyone in the wasteland, so everyone from the Vault-Tec's highs that can come and just basically run them. They basically turn them into corporate drones because they're trying to get these mice to get on these little computer desks and not die from the brainwashing once they send them the signal to like just work, just keep working and working. So it seems like that's all they want to do. It's just brainwash people to go back to work because Vault-Tec they're just evil. They're just evil. What can you say? It's Vault-Tec. Have you seen the vaults? Yeah, so it's not his story's not as exciting. Besides the fact that like he is a sickle and he's a psychopath, he blew up Sadie Springs, and he is still testing on live people. He kidnapped some lady's son, and that's when Lucy and the ghoul finds him in some decked out basement, all like heads exploded on everywhere and brain matter everywhere, and then this kid's like speaking, like Hank programmed this kid to say the words he wants to say to Lucy, and blows his head up. Like Hank's okay, he's lost it. Okay, Father of the Year mug, he's not getting it this year. Okay, not at all. No, not at all. Not this year. And that's kind of where we left off in the story. And there's some stuff about Mr. House and the ghouls and the flashbacks. I really didn't care too much about it, if I can be honest with you. The ghouls' history, I like it, because it tells you a lot about like who he was before the story. I'm so invested in what's actually happening in the now that the past stuff just feels like a cutscene in between the gameplay. If you want to know the truth, it feels like you hit a cutscene. It's like, oh, okay, let me see this. Oh, back to the game. So yeah, if I could rate the first 3 episodes of Fallout, the first quarter of the show, I would say it's magnificent in my opinion. It wasn't perfect. I would give 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, whatever. It wasn't perfect. But I loved it, man. It was really good. It was really dope. And I just can't wait for the next episode. And now I'm really happy that I did this. I'm really happy I recorded this video. And because this is gonna be fun to edit, and I'm gonna post this on YouTube, and I'm gonna have a great time because this show is gonna be awesome. I love the show, and I can't wait to talk to you guys some more about it after episode 4, which according to Lucy's and what she said in real life is that 4 and 5 is going to be the most exciting for her character. So we've been assuming she's eventually going to have to get her hands dirty, and it looks like after what just happened with the Legion, she's full out ready to be a Wastelander. It's the Legion, and it's New Vegas. It's crazy out there. Have you seen the Carcadas out there? Like, come on, man. Death Claws are out there. Like, you got to be ready to throw hands and use that VAT system. And I think she's ready. So, all right, guys. Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't watched this video, you can share with your friends. and comment in the section below your favorite moment from the show. Let me know if you stayed to this part of the video, and thank you so much for watching, and catch you next time.